In this video, we're going to be covering a guy that uses a reverse cross guard, which is a crazy kind of guard, but he was middleweight champion with this guard. So, you know, on this channel, we like to explore every single aspect of hand-to-hand combat and see whether there's something that we can learn from what they're doing. So let me show you, and then we can talk about it.
Middleweight champion Gene Fullmer was the very definition of an aggressive brawler. In fact, he was so good that he managed to take the title from Sugar Ray Robinson, a slick, graceful boxer who most consider the pound-for-pound greatest of all time. The two met in the ring on 4 occasions, with Fullmer losing once, drawing once, and beating Robinson twice. Fullmer's unorthodox tactics frustrated Robinson to no end. Put simply, Fullmer used techniques that just shouldn't work. And the most bizarre, most impactful tactic by far was Fullmer's use of the reverse crossguard. The regular crossguard is already exceedingly rare, but Fullmer implemented an even more unusual tactic, reversing his arms to rest his lead arm on top. Fullmer did use this guard defensively well against the ropes. His true success came from using his lead-high cross block to set up his relentless offense. This strange block worked so well for Fullmer because it was multi-purpose. It could defend against straights, hooks, and uppercuts. In the same way Norton and Frazier's crossguard frustrated Ali, Fullmer's reverse crossguard frustrated Robinson. The crossguard takes away angles that nuanced jab and movers like to use. These fighters like to sneak punches into the small openings in their opponent's guard. But with Fullmer's head protected on both sides, these angles became far less pertinent. In this clip, Robinson's lead hook is rendered ineffective by Fullmer's crossblock, and Fullmer takes full advantage of the opening Robinson's punch has created.
So, as you can see, this is a very unusual guard, and I kind of like it. It's kind of like I like the Philly shell and the long guard, but this kind of reverse cross guard is quite good if you think about it. You're kind of protecting your face, and then you've got your massive right hook if you're orthodox. Let's see whether he's orthodox or is he southpaw.
A big downside of this lead-high cross block would seem to be that the fighter using it takes away their own jab.
Yeah, so he's orthodox, left leg forward. So yeah, it takes away from the jab, but you can get nice and close ready for the hook.
However, Fullmer adjusted his jab mechanics to throw a truly bizarre, but highly effective jab right off of his cross block. This jab swatted down and away, at times raking across an opponent's face like a hammer fist, and at times swatting down from overhead. If an opponent moved inside to avoid his strange jab, they would often find that Fullmer had just walked them into a looping right. Using this setup, Fullmer managed to hit skilled boxers clean in the jaw with big, telegraphed punches. But Fullmer's body shots had an even greater impact. While they could lead to knockouts, they worked best to sap an opponent's strength, limiting their movement and wearing them down over rounds. This setup blended nicely into the mechanics of Fullmer's overhand, one of his prime weapons for closing distance.
See, if you notice, he's really utilising his main overhand, his right, for a power shot, because he can get nice and close with his cross guard and still protected against damage, but then come in with his massive right hook. It's quite clever, really.
Fullmer threw his overhand with the full weight of his body behind it, much like a pitcher throwing a baseball. He tended to shift forward as he did so, which helped him to cover massive distance. Apart from his jab, Fullmer could get away with these wild overhands because he used his lead cross block like a shield, wading in to counter with his right. What's more, the chainsaw revving-like motion of pulling back his lead cross block acted as a force couple, adding even more power to the punch. Fullmer's constant in-and-out footwork and head feints were also made possible by the additional safety provided by his lead crossguard. These feints not only eased his entry into exchanges, they also acted as bait, drawing punches for Fullmer to counter. Fullmer used these tactics to move in deep, either attacking or dipping underneath punches to safely close the distance. Once at close range, he would tie up one arm and pummel away with the other.
Wow.
Fullmer was a master infighter and could seamlessly change which hand was punching and which was holding. He would switch hands to shut down opponents' punches if they tried to fight back, or to create new offensive opportunities if an opponent happened to be vulnerable on the...
See, that's really it. Like, if you're a real master at boxing or combat, for example, you know, like, it is about being able to know every aspect, you know, to know the reverse cross guard, to know the cross guard, to know the Philly shell, to know the long guard, you know, like, to know every aspect of boxing, because you can utilize it at different elements, different angles, you know, and work out what works for you. But the reason I'm doing it is obviously to review and to work out, like, what are the best moves. You know, looks pretty effective, getting close to your opponent to then give him maximum damage with your massive right hook.
The other side. It was also a good way to keep the action going so that the ref didn't break up the clinch. Fullmer was a big fan of using his head. Literally. Notice in this clip how Fullmer keeps his head underneath Robinson's, denying Robinson's attempt to hide his chin in the crevice of Fullmer's shoulder. By keeping Robinson upright, Fullmer could swing his arm...
I just want to say, we notice that, you know, I don't know what particular year this is, but, you know, this is when everyone dressed in suits and smart. You know, we used to have a bit of class about us. You know what I mean? That's, yeah, I don't know, just an observation.
Around to connect with his exposed temple. This kept the punch legal and avoided getting called for rabbit punching the back of Robinson's head. Here Triple G demonstrates the same technique over half a century later. In truth, Fullmer didn't need much space to pull these punches off. He was so adept at keeping his punches legal that he would at times swing his arm behind his own head to make sure he caught Robinson clean. Gene Fullmer is a great example of a fighter who combined non-traditional techniques with solid fundamentals and strategies. He's a testament to the fact that a brawling, swarming boxer does not have to mean a stupid boxer, and that reckless, wild punches can work well when supplemented with solid rhythm, feints, and defense. I would recommend watching all 4 of his fights against Robinson. If you'd like to learn more, you can check out my supplemented with solid rhythm, feints, and...
I think it's quite... I feel like if you want to get close to your opponent, like, where is that? Where he's showing
work well when supplemented with solid rhythm, feints.
There, look. Hold on.
Reckless, wild punches can work well when supplemented with solid rhythm, feint.
See, look, it's kind of clever because you can get very, very close to the opponent, and then with your right overhand hook can plant it. So yeah, I think it's got merit. I'm going to test it next time I do sparring, and let you guys know. But interesting, cool. All right, everyone, I'll catch you in the next video. Subscribe, and then you don't miss out on any of the videos. And if you haven't seen check out the Mayweather video. I think that is the best boxing match ever. And if you don't agree or you think there's a better boxing match, let me know and I'll review it. But Mayweather versus Canelo highlights, absolutely amazing. I'll review it on the channel. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, it all helps the algorithm. And yeah, share with any combat friends, and yeah, train hard and master the skill. All right, peace.